Hey guys, welcome back to my channel AG Motion Designs, and in today's video we are going to create this. In this video we will learn how to create Logitech logo reveal animation in a different way. Now I have already created a logo animation of Logitech even before. Links of them are available in the description, so you can do check it out later and practice it along with them. But in today's video we are going to create this kind of animation. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So I have this Logitech logo file over here. Now I have already divided these things on the separated layer. I mean each and every element is on the separate layer. I'll provide you the link of this Photoshop file in the description so you can download it and practice it along with them. Now we will go to the Adobe After Effects and we will create a new composition, and we will call this composition as our main animation, and width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, duration is 30, and background color is white color, and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and hit on title safe action. Then we will go to over here, and I have this PSD file of Logitech. I'll simply drag and drop this thing in After Effects, and after this you will get this kind of options. Now we don't need to change anything over here, but import, make sure that you are in composition, return layers and sizes. By default, if this is on footage, so you need to change it to composition, return layers and sizes, and simply hit OK. So you will get this composition over here. Now double click to open this composition. I'll hit Ctrl A to select all of them, then I'll hit Ctrl X, then I'll go to my main animation, and then I'll hit Ctrl V. So and now I'm going to delete this comp over here, we don't need that, and right click new and go to the null object, select all of them by holding shift, and let's make it apparent with this null one. Now select this null one, press S for scaling option, and we will scale it down like this. Okay, and let's bring this over here and let's scale it even further. I'm gonna make it 28, and with the help of arrow keys I'm going to adjust the position of this null object like this. Okay, and now I'm going to delete this null. Now first thing, we need to animate this eye. So let's select this, hit enter, and let's call it as eye first like this. Hit enter, let's call it as capital I. Okay, then press P for position, select this, right click and choose separate dimensions. Now select this, create one keyframe at X position and one keyframe at Y position, zoom in a little bit and go to around 2.20 frames and create another keyframe over here. Now let's go to the start, select this eye, and by holding shift I'm gonna move them over here. Okay, zoom in a little bit, go over here, create one keyframe at Y position, go over here again, create one keyframe at Y position, go over here, and now we will adjust this keyframes like this. Okay, so now in between these two keyframes we have two Y keyframes. Now in middle of that I'm going to select this I, and I'll bring the Y position of this one over here. In middle of this I'll bring the Y position over here, or you can simply select this keyframe, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V to copy these keyframes, go over here, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, so if I see this, I'll get something like this. Now select all the Y keyframes and hit F9. Let's go to the graph editor, zoom in a little bit, and let's go to the start. Now select this graph by holding shift. We will move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here, and make sure to hold shift, otherwise this is gonna be something weird. And select this and by holding shift move this handle over here. Now select this, move this handle like this one like this, and this one like this, and you have to follow this type of thing everywhere and here also. So now if I see this, I'll get this kind of animation. Now at this point let's select this again like this, and now after that I'll go few frame forward and I'll again create one keyframe at Y position, go over here, and let's bring this over here like this. Let's select this, this one, move this over here and move this over here. So we'll get this, this and this. Okay, if you think this bounciness a little bit extra, so simply select this. By holding alt you can increase the duration of it like this. Now select this, press S, unlink this, and in I'm going to change the X value of this one to like this one. Select this, hit U, and let's bring this X position a little bit over here like this. And at this point I want this should get its original position, so I'll press S. I'll create one keyframe over here, hit U, go over here, and let's make it 28 again, and select those keyframes and hit F9 like this. Now select this, press R for rotation. Let's create one keyframe, hit U, go over here, let's make it 1, go over here, let's make it 2, go over here, and let's make it 3. Now select those rotation keyframes and hit F9. So we will get this kind of rotation over here. And if you want, you can simply select this graph, select those rotation keyframes, and by holding shift I'm going to move this handle over here and this handle over here. So now if I see, I'll get this kind of animation. And you can enable motion blur if you want, so you will get a little bit of cool looking animation over here. Now this is for I. Now I want this portion of G should come from here like in a previous animation. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this portion, I'll hit enter and I'll call it as G and hit OK, and I'll move this over here with the help of open bracket, open square bracket. Now select this, press P, select this position, right click, go choose separate dimensions, create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y, and hit U because we don't need to look at the keyframes of this one, and hit U for this one. Now let's go over here, create one keyframe at X, one keyframe at Y. Let's go over here, we will select this and we will move this over here. Now in middle of that I'm going to select this one, and by holding shift I'll move this over here. Let's delete the X position keyframe, select those Y position and hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift move this handle over here and this handle over here. This handle should be here, select this, and this handle should be here like this. Okay, and go over here, create one keyframe, go in middle one, and let's move this a little bit upward, so we'll get a little bit of bounciness over here. So if I see, I'll get something like this. Now select this, press R for rotation, let's create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and let's make it one complete rotation, select those keyframes and hit F9 like this. Okay, now this is for G, and whenever this gonna touch this ground, I want this thing should start to animate. So I'll move this thing over here, press P for position, let's create one keyframe over here, zoom in a little bit, create another keyframe, and in middle of that I'll bring this over here. Let's go over here and I'll bring this over here. Select those keyframe and hit F9, go to the graph editor, zoom in a little bit, select this, by holding shift move this handle over here and this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here like this. Now after that I want rotation animation for this one, so I'll press let's say R, create one keyframe, hit U, go to the last keyframe and let's make it one complete rotation. Select those keyframes and hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift this handle over here and this one should be here. Sorry for the background noise like this. Let's make this fit and let's see. Okay, we will focus on this O later, so simply select this and let's call it as O. Sorry, hit enter and let's call it as O, and let's hide this. Now we have this I over here, so after this, at this point I want this I should start animate, so I'll move this over here, I'll press Y on my keyboard and I'll move this anchor point over here. By holding control it will snap it automatically, press S, unlink this, and let's increase the size of it like this, and select this, press P for position. Let's create one keyframe, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, go over here, and let's bring this downwards like this. Select those keyframe and hit F9, and at this point select this, press S, create one keyframe, go few frame forward, let's make it 28 again. Select those keyframe and hit F9 like this. So if I see this animation now, I'll get this and then this. Now select those scaling options, go to the graph editor, select this graph, move this handle over here like this. Okay, now after that the T is remaining. So at this point I want this T should start animate. So I'll select this T and I'll move this over here, press P for position, right click, choose separate dimensions, create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Let's hide this keyframes, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, go over here, and let's move this over here, and in middle of that select this, and let's move this Y position of this one over here, and select those keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this, move this handle over here, this handle over here, this handle over here, select this and this handle over here, and then again we'll press R for rotation. Let's create one keyframe over here, hit U, and create one complete rotation. Select those keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, we will adjust the graph editor of this one. Okay, so if I see this animation start, I'll get this and this. Okay, then we have to focus on this E. So after this T, at this point I want this T should be start to animate, so I'll move this over here, I'll hit U, and instead of that what we can do, simply select this thing first, press P, right click and choose separate dimensions. Now select those keyframes of this T, I'll hit Ctrl C, I'll select this and hit Ctrl V, and now hit U properly. Now all we need to do, we need to adjust the position of their respective. So I'll select this, for example I'll select this X and I'll move this over here at this point, and let's bring this downward like this, and at this point it should be over here to change the X position over here, so we'll get the same animation over here. And one thing I forgot to do, that we have to create a little bit of bounce for this T, so let's create that also. And over here also we have to do that, select this and create one keyframe, go in the middle of it like this. Okay, so let's see what we will get. Now I want this H, or let's say this C should come from here. So now for that what I'm gonna do, I'll select this C, I'll move this over here, I'll press P for position, select this, right click, choose separate dimensions. Let's select this C, create one keyframe at X, one keyframe at Y, and go few frame forwards, again create another keyframe, go to the start, then select this C, let's move this over here, go over here, select this and change the Y position of this one over here. Select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, hold shift and adjust the graph like this. Okay, then we need to change the rotation. You can simply select this rotation keyframes of this one and simply hit Ctrl C, select this one, hit Ctrl V, then hit U and adjust the rotation keyframes like this. and we need to do some bouncing animation over here. So I'll bring this over here. Now we have to select those keyframes and we will hit Ctrl C, and we will select this edge, and I want this edge should start from this E. So I'll move this over here and I'll hit, first of all press P, right click and choose separate dimensions, select this and hit Ctrl V. And now we have to adjust the position of their keyframes. So I'll select this edge, X position should be here at this point and Y position should be here, and at this point let's move this over here and let's move this over here like this. Okay, and select the first keyframe, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, let's give it this. Okay, so if I say this, I'll get something like this. Let's see our animation now. Okay, hit U, select all of them and enable the motion blur. So now along with our animation we will get a little bit of motion blur also. Now we have to adjust the animate this point. So I'll move this over here, I'll press P for position, let's create one keyframe, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, and initially move this upward. Let's move this keyframe over here, create one keyframe over here, and in middle of that it should go upward. Select those keyframe and hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this one handle over here and move this handle over here like this. Let's make this fit. Okay, so we have this, and now we need to animate this O. So for that what we can do, we will select this O, we will press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose this, move all attributes into the composition and hit O and hit enter, double click to open this. And now we will go over here, we will choose ellipse and we will choose little bit of different color for this. By holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse, press Ctrl Alt O, press V, and let's move this over here. Now select this and let's go to the add menu, go to trim path, go to the start, let's make this 0 initially, create one keyframe, go few frame forwards and let's make this proper 100. Select those keyframes and hit F9. Okay, select this first and let's make it white. Select this, hit Ctrl D, select this one and let's make it black. Okay, and now we will increase the stroke width of this one. So now if I see, I'll get first this and then I'll select this white stroke and I'll move this over here so it will animate later like this. Okay, now select both of them and press Ctrl Shift C and move all attributes into the new composition, and I'll call it as O extra and hit OK. Select this and press Y to move this anchor point somewhere around over here like this. So let's see, first we have this animation like this. Okay, now double click, again select all of them and press Ctrl Shift C and we will call it as only O page and hit OK. So now we have O extra, inside this we have this O page. Why we did that we will see in a few minutes. So first I have this animation, then I'll after a few or let's say 2.10 frames I'll press R for rotation. Let's create one keyframe, zoom in and let's rotate it like this. Select this, press P, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and let's move this up to here. Select this and rotate it like this. After a few keyframes again rotate it like this and then again rotate it like this. Now select those keyframes and hit F9. Now select this keyframe, go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here like this. Okay, select this keyframe, move this over here, select this keyframe and move this one over here. Okay, now after this I want this should start to fall, so I'll press P. Let's create one keyframe, go few frame forward, and let's bring this downwards. Select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, and by holding shift move this handle over here and this handle over here, so we'll get this falling animation. And let's move this over here. Okay, so I'll get this. So, and now we have this Photoshop layer. I'll move this over here. So initially we don't have anything, then it start to animate, then we will get this O like this. Now after this, I'm gonna go inside this. We have this page comp over here. Now I'm gonna go in effect and presets panel, and I'll search for CC page turn and simply double click to apply. Now whenever you are going to apply, we will get this one anchor point over here. So let's move this totally up to out of this composition. As you guys can see, we will get a little bit of page turn effect over here. So initially I'll move this over here. Let's create one keyframe, hit U, and go few frame forward. Let's up to over here. And now at this point we will change this anchor point over here just to get this a little bit of what we call page turn effect, like this, little bit, not too much. And let's see this thing in over here, we'll get this kind of stuff. And if you think this is too much, let's move this over here. Okay, like this. Okay, so all these things are done. Now let's double click, and we need to move this a little bit of downwards like this. Zoom out a little bit, and now I want this O should start to animate a little bit later, like over here. And now I'll press N. So now if I see this animation, I'll get something like this. Now hit Ctrl A to select all of them, press Ctrl Shift C to copy them, and I'll call it as animation, and I'll hit OK. I'll press Ctrl Y to create background. I'll select this royal blue color and simply hit OK, and let's bring this over here. Select this, go to the effect and presets panel, and we will search for tint effect. To apply, you can swap this color, so you will get this kind of stuff. And instead of black, I'm going to choose this color. So now if I see this animation, I'll get this kind of stuff. Now after that, select this, go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect on it. And distance, let's choose 30, or let's say 20. Softness 100. And for the color, first of all, I'm with the help of this picker, I'll choose this color, and then go to the effect in color option, and we will choose a little bit of darker version of this blue, and then we will hit OK like this. So now if I see this, I'll get this kind of animations. So this is how you can create Logitech logo reveal animation inside of After Effects. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like this tutorial, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. And if you want to create some more interesting animations like this, then check out these two videos. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay tuned.